Hi, this is Pete McGill, and welcome to another episode of Adventures in Running. Today we're standing here with Rod Dixon, famed New Zealand runner, right? Bronze medalist from the 1972 Olympics, winner of the New York City Marathon. And let me ask you, is this on a par with those races?
Totally. You can see I'm really excited. The heart rate's right up. And,
Right.
I'm very excited. But it really is. These are the moments that define really who I am. It goes back to my club days where we had a club race on a Sunday or Saturday.
Oh, right.
And really it does. It just feels like, what have I been doing for the last 50 years? Yeah. Because I joined a running club when I was 10 years old.
10 years old?
Yeah.
Well, see, you don't do that. Yeah, that doesn't happen a lot over here. Can you tell us a little bit about the club system and how you got into it?
Well, of course, it was really created through the efforts of Arthur Lydiard, who recognised that jogging was such a health-giving and health-available exercise he was rehabbing even heart patients back in those days, back in the early 50s, and of course, the English Harrier system. The Blackheath Harriers are 160 years old, and that was an incredible experience to go there. And
as a club, not individually, right?
No.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that up.
Might be a few old skeletons
right.
in the closet.
Oh, yes.
But certainly, and that system evolved in New Zealand and Australia, and where people would get together to enjoy the thrill of just going out and friendship, camaraderie, the joy of running through the countryside or on the beaches or wherever.
Right, you told me that even in your school days, you guys would hop over a fence and head over into the field.
In the fields,
right, just to run and play.
Yeah.
And stuff. An interesting story that Rod was telling me about when we were talking about our race preparation for the Santa Monica Classic 5K here today. You were telling me about the the time that Bill Bowerman brought over a 4x1 reel.
Yes, well that was 1964, just after the Tokyo Olympics, so 65. And Bowerman, I'm just trying to think of Dara Burleson, San Romani, Keith Foreman. I'm trying. It's going.
You probably remember who was running for New Zealand a little bit better.
Peter Snell, Murray Helvig, Bill Bailey, and John Davies.
Right.
And they had 4 of these races around the country, and it was at that time that Bowerman was invited to go out to one of the running clubs, and of course he was a good runner in himself.
Right.
And he went out and he was running along, and they were running up the One Tree Hill, which is a mountain in the middle of Auckland. And he's talking to 2 or 3 guys around with him and going, "You guys seem awfully old to be out jogging," as they were putting him under pressure.
Right.
And one of them was 72, and another one was 69, and another one was, I think, in his late 60s. And Bowerman was absolutely astounded that people at that age would want to be out there doing this. And then, of course, he connected the whole thing. He connected the dots about jogging, about life's long run, and I think really from that point he brought the idea back to the United States to say, we need to get people out exercising and oxercising.
Right.
And that's kind of how I said, because we talk about Frank Shorter really kicked the running boom in.
Right.
But it was really Bowerman who brought it. And Bowerman, even in his book, would say that it was Lydiard who was the leader, and he was just a disciple.
Right. Yeah. Just backtracking a second though, because I just think it's a wonderful story. You had told me this was like the defining moment for you as a runner when you saw this, when you had worked like a bicycle route and gotten your money and gone over to the track and you were standing there and watching this 4x1 reel. And if you could just...
Well, it really was. I mean, we knew that was coming around. When our running club, Lydiard used to come and really he coached the coaches of the running club, and then that trickled down to us guys. So, of course, watching the 1960 Olympics and been inspired by, back at Lovelock, back in 1936. And I think what it was that the black singlet, the black outfit was something very special about, and so I was drawn to to cycle the 7 miles into the city and sat there watching it. And then they had a great track meet before, and one of our club captain beat the New Zealand cross-country champion and Commonwealth champion in the steeplechase, and we were all, the town went crazy. And then, you know, to see the 4 black New Zealanders, the black clad New Zealanders, the silver fern, coming onto the track, and then against the Americans, the powerful world record holders, and I'll never forget. That was just such a powerful moment, and I think really when I watched or I listened on the radio to the 1968 Olympic final between Ben Jipjo and Jim Ryan, I think that was the moment that I decided that's what I wanted to do. So I was inspired by the history and the heritage of New Zealand, and then I suppose the defining moment was putting it all together and realizing that was my destiny, and here I am. You know?
Right. Just for the record, in the relay, I believe that wonderful world record holding relay from Oregon ran into a little trouble on the final leg when a certain
Peter Snell.
Probably shocked Burleson.
Yes. Well, Peter had this devastating kick with about 200 meters to go. And I remember he sat on Burleson. Burleson tried everything to shake him, to break him, and there was a little gap coming, and then the crowd would go ooh, and then Snell would come back up and going ah, and it was like this accordion. And then with about 150, 170 meters to go, Snell came up onto the shoulder to test him, and they hit the home straight, and then Snell powered and you can imagine it wasn't a dry eye, and the crowd were going wild.
Now, one more little story, and then I guess we got to get warming up here pretty quick. But you told me an interesting story about you and Pri and little bets you would make over in Europe that I think some of our visitors might appreciate hearing a little about.
Well, I remember in Milan where we were running at 3,000 meters. And Ralph Mann was travelling. Ralph Mann was the silver medalist in the 400 high hurdles, and they travelled. And John Walker and I came into Milan, and of course we went in to have dinner, and there was Pri, and so we went over, and it was actually the race was about 3 days later, and so we sort of we'll have like a beer. Yes, so we had a couple of beers. And then the next thing is there's more 4 or 5 beers, and then we realised, you know, that we said, okay, well the measure of a man really is, can you get up in the morning and go and run for 2 hours? And I'll never forget, you know, we were under a lot of pressure, but we went out there, and we were testing one another, of course, and then we went on. I think it might have been 3 or 4 days later. Pri set an American record, I set a Commonwealth record, and we became great friends and great mates. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, and little those few beers I think grew into a little bit of a bet about the winner having to fill the other person's bathtub with beer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that was and it was interesting because I was still running as many 1,500, 3,000s because I hadn't moved up to 5,000 at that point.
Right.
And of course Pri, he had to run the 5,000, whereas I only had to run the 1,500. So we were running twice a week.
Right.
And he was bent on winning, which meant that the bathtub was full of beer every week.
Well, listen, I can't thank you enough for giving us these few minutes. Rod Dixon, New Zealand, great. Read on further below this video. There'll be more interviews, some questions I did with Rod off camera. We'll talk about Kids Marathon, a great program he's got going here in LA. For the kids. We'll talk about his recommendations for how to make your running shoes perfect when you want to go out. It involves standing in a tub of water, not beer, in a tub of water, and some other great stuff. Can't thank you enough.
Thank you, Peter.
All right.
And good job yesterday for this 15-minute 5,000 meters.
Thank you.